What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon Kindle, Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up, so I put it up. Thanks everybody for supporting. This video is entitled Who's the GOAT in each sports? Greatest of all time. So I got to say that because Ali coined the phrase the GOAT. So he's the GOAT of saying the GOAT. Now, first sport. Let's just go there. My favorite sport is football, so we going there first with football. Who's the greatest of all time? Jerry Rice. It's not even close. It's not even close. When you think about a person who is hands... First of all, his records are so far out of reach for even the greatest of receivers of each era after him and before that is ridiculous. His records are unreachable. Quarterback records aren't unreachable. Receiver records unreachable right now. Think about that. Randy Moss and Terrell Owens still had to score another 50 touchdowns to get close to Jerry Rice. Think about that. They had to do another 5,000 yards to get close to Jerry Rice. He showed up on the biggest of stages, made the biggest of plays, was hands down the best player on the field, and he was on a team with Joe Montana and Steve Young, and he was the best player. That's the GOAT. Sorry. Are there other people? Yeah. People say, what about Tom Brady? Tom Brady is my number 2 greatest of all time quarterback. Joe Montana's number 1. You know, the same rules we use for why Michael Jordan is the GOAT is the same rule I use for Joe Montana being better than Tom Brady. Joe Montana wasn't playing. Are there other great players in the mix? You could say LT is one of them. Not LaDainian Tomlinson. Lawrence Taylor. Okay? Reggie White. Yeah. Barry Sanders. Yeah. Walter Payton prior to that. Jim Brown. You know. Prime. Yeah, Prime. Ed Reed. Ray Lewis. Definitely. Definitely some Peyton Manning. Yeah, I know. Dan Marino, if you're going to say Peyton Manning. You know, John Elway. Captain Comeback. People don't look at it like that, but he was a beast. A real beast. Like, seriously. You know. But for football, greatest of all time. Basketball. You know, sometimes I dream that he is me. And can't you see that's how I dream? It's got to be Jordan. Now, mind y'all, we always skipping over 3 essential players when we saying Jordan, because I grew up in the Jordan era. Bill Russell, better resume than Mike. I'm just being honest. Wilt Chamberlain, unreachable records. Okay, just being honest. He averaged like 50 points and 25 rebounds, and his career average is 30 points, and his career rebounds is 22 rebounds. 30 points and 22 rebounds a game. That's his career average. As he got older, his numbers dipped. That should tell you something. Now, the reason I wouldn't put him as a GOAT per se is because his playoff average is like, it's a dope average though. 22 points and like 25 rebounds. Like, he was no joke. But Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, and Kareem. People forget how, like, you skip over these 3 juggernauts of men, you know. The Mount Rushmore should be named after them 3 if you're not going to put them 3 on your Mount Rushmore. But it's got to be Mike. Now, the reason I say Mike is not just because of the points, but also the defense, the championship runs, the undefeated in the finals, the MVPs, the Olympics resume. But Mike also pioneered the marketing game with these athletes. Like, all these shoe deals and commercials, that really started with Mike. That's who really kicked that off. like to the in the stratosphere that it's in. So he's the greatest of all time because he was the greatest person who played, and he was the greatest person who was marketed and marketed himself. That's just dope. The movies, I mean, Space Jam 2 is a remake from Space Jam, which is a Mike movie. I Believe I Can Fly from Space Jam. I hate to break it to you, right? Just greatest of all time. Boxing. Look, like I said, Ali, what he did as far as a boxer and civil rights, unmatched. Do I think he's the greatest boxer of all time? No. So I put him in this separate space because there's a lot of people that people forget about. Be perfectly honest, I'm gonna go with Floyd, just on the resume alone. Longevity, opponents, people who were champions. Like he's killed all those categories. He beat more Hall of Famers than some of these Hall of Famers faced. But I give reverence to Sugar Ray Robinson, Homicide Hank Armstrong. My actual favorite boxers were Roy Jones Jr. and Marvin Hagler, Sweet Pea, Pernell Whitaker. Those are my favorites. But greatest, TBE, the best ever. Like, okay, Ali is the GOAT, because we're going to say it in boxing. Ali is the GOAT, and Floyd is TBE. That's what it is. Period. Punch stats, CompuBox, all that. He wins all that. So, got to be the greatest of all time. It ain't even close. Ain't even close. Now, baseball. See, to me, it's got to be Barry Bonds. For a few reasons. I don't even care about the steroid era. Barry Bonds was an MVP before. I think he was a 2 or 3 time MVP before the steroid era was even in place. People forget that Barry is probably one of the top 50 players all time before the steroid era. He's the son of Bobby, right? Like his uncle, I think, is Willie Mays. Now, it could be argued, to be perfectly honest, I ain't say this, but Willie Mays is probably better than Barry Bonds. Because I'm thinking about it. Barry couldn't do everything Willie could do. But Willie could do everything Barry could do. So let me have a caveat on that. Willie Mays is the greatest of all time. Barry Bonds is the greatest in the era that I watched the most. Okay? Because Willie Mays could actually hit, field, run those bases like that. As Barry got older, he couldn't run those bases like that. So, greatest of all time, Willie Mays. But then Barry, I gotta give props to one of my favorite players. Everybody loved Cal Ripken Jr. and I loved him too, so he's on that list for me. But Ozzie Smith, the Wizard, the Wizard, you're out of there. Like, the Wizard was one of the best. Randy Johnson, Greg Maddux, great pitchers. Completely different styles. Roger Clemens, the Rocket, you got to give him his respect. If Bo Jackson wouldn't have been hurt, Bo Jackson is the reason why you see these baseball players in shape like that. So he's really the archetype for all of this stuff. I had a thing for Frank Thomas because I was in the shower. I was a Sox fan over a Cubs fan, really. But, Albert Pujols for a minute, and he was showing up big time. So, yeah, I say that. I'll leave that one alone. And tennis, for the men's, Federer. Prior to that, I would have said Sampras. Because I was watching tennis when I was younger, and Sampras was just killing folks. And I loved, Andre Agassi was my favorite player, the style. But Sampras would kick his ass. Every time. Just kick, serve volley, get your ass up out of here. And, he owned Andre Agassi. So at the time, but when Federer came, he broke the record. Now for the women's, I gotta say Serena, not the Australian lady, because the vast majority of the Australian ladies wins that has her at the top of the heap is the Australian Open. So I can't say if they were just, she had a lot of home cooking, because she didn't win like that outside of the Australian Open. She wasn't that dominant outside of Australia. You feel me? So I just kind of think it's a lot of home field advantage. So in my opinion, Serena's best female tennis player of all time. You know, Martina Navratilova, Steffi Graf was dope. Yeah. Let me think. Golf, don't watch that much. Tiger, because he's won the most. He hasn't won the most majors, but he's won the most tournaments in history. You know, Jack and Palmer are always going to be synonymous with the top of the heap, but who's won the most is Tiger, point blank, period. So the numbers don't lie on that. When he was dominant, everybody else just shriveled up. You know what I'm saying? His side chicks beat him. Not his side chicks and his wife beat him. Not nobody on the course. So got to take it for the way it is. So for this video, GOATs in each sport. Could have went to MMA. I'm gonna go. You know what? Anderson Silva. John Jones getting there, but Anderson Silva. GSP's up there, but Anderson Silva. Mighty Mouse got the resume to a degree, but Anderson Silva. Because of the style alone, like he changed it. Like, you know, to a degree, I should have said Royce Gracie, because this is where the jiu-jitsu part came in. But the issue with that is the other styles that were implemented with Anderson Silva kind of expanding it, you know, because it's bigger than jiu-jitsu. But that's what I'm going to go with. Let's see. Like, share, subscribe. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.